How do you sleep next to a snoring partner? Chances are you don't want to sleep alone, do you? And especially if your partner is somebody that you love, you don't want to sleep separated. But on the other hand, you don't just want to stay in bed tossing and turning all night long, getting irritated and silently hating your partner in effect. So, what I want to share with you right now is 3 ways in which you can sleep alongside with a snoring partner. Now, before we plunge deep into it, what's the problem? What's the issue when it comes to sleeping with a snoring partner? Well, the obvious one is the sound and the associated ability, our power to hear sounds. The problem when it comes to sleep here is when we close our eyes, our ears, your ears, are your primary, remain your primary contact with reality, and this is so 200,000 years ago when you went in bed. There were these things called saber-toothed tigers hiding in the bushes, and your ancestors back then, with the power of their ears, were able to wake up during the night time and survive. So that was good, that was fantastic in terms of survival thousands and thousands of years ago, but today, that's not so good when somebody is snoring next to you. That still causes you to wake up or to be unable to fall asleep. So, right here comes point number 1, volume reduction, which is the most obvious tip out of all the tips I'm gonna give you, but this is the first one. Volume reduction. You wanna reduce the volume that comes from outside. You can do it with earplugs, but I don't recommend earplugs. They're freaking irritating. Instead, what I recommend you use is ear muffs. They're costier than earplugs, but they are worth it. Now, this is point 1. Point number 2. Your auditory awareness depends on the sleep stage that you were in. So, during... Excuse me, I just had an apple and a banana. Some gas is coming up. So, in the later stages of sleep, when you're sleeping, someone can just open the door of your bedroom and they can cause you to wake up, especially if you're a light sleeper like me. On the other hand, during the deeper stages of sleep, someone can enter in your room, they can start pacing left, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They can take several, maybe they can even jog a little bit, not too loudly, but they could even jog, and still you could not know what's going on. How is that possible? It's possible thanks to the fact that during sleep, during the different stages of sleep, your awareness, your auditory awareness, your ability to hear the outside world is either increased or decreased. During the deeper stages of sleep, it is significantly decreased. So, my second tip, knowing this, is this. Go to bed 30 minutes before your partner. It takes on average about 30 minutes to enter the deep stages of sleep. So by going 30 minutes before your partner, let's say your partner takes about 10 minutes to fall asleep, when he finally starts snoring, you're gonna be in one of the deepest stages of sleep, so you shouldn't be aware of him at all, especially if you're wearing ear muffs. So that's point number 2. Now, before I share with you point number 3, which is in my opinion the most powerful out of all the 3 tips, I want to invite you real quick inside Sleep Mastery, my Facebook group. It's opening up very, very soon, so if you want to sleep deeply and be fresh and energetic during the daytime, I invite you to join the rest of us. Make sure that you answer all 3 questions that you're going to find on the link below, because I'm not going to allow anyone who doesn't answer all 3 questions. With that said, going back to point number 3, meaning. And before I share about what do I mean by meaning, have you ever watched a movie or something online, whether it's YouTube or Netflix or whatever it is? Have you ever watched something like that and fallen asleep. I definitely have. I've even fallen asleep to movies with fights, with people, with swords clashing and clanking. How is that possible that I was able to fall asleep at these high sounds? It's meaning. See, the meaning we attach to sounds is more important than the volume of the sound itself, as long as the volume is not too high, of course. That is why you might have found yourself able to fall asleep during a movie or something online, but unable to fall asleep next to a snoring partner when it comes to a movie or something on YouTube that you watch. The meaning that you attach to that is either neutral or positive. On the flip side, when it comes to a snorer, the meaning that you probably attach to that is negative. And negative meaning creates negative emotions, and falling asleep. Sleep is very much related to emotions. Every type of sleep problem is ultimately reduced to emotions, some type of negative emotion the person experiences. For example, it could be stress about the previous days, it could be anxiety about the coming days. All of these things typically cause people to get into an insomnia pattern. In this case, it's not something that happened, it's not negative emotions of something that happened or something that will happen, it's something that's happening right now, the snoring that is causing the person to not be able to fall asleep. And this is inherent in a sleep type of therapy, by the way, the attaching a specific type of meaning in something called acceptance and commitment therapy. Without going into detail, because you probably don't care about that so much, when it comes to your snoring partner, the meaning that you attach, and that's my third point here, while you cannot control the volume at which he snores, you can control the meaning you attach. By attaching the appropriate meaning, you can fall asleep more easily. With that said, let's work. Let's get back to work. Stop watching videos online, and let's hit it. Let's work like warriors and sleep like champions. I'll see you tomorrow.